Hi everyone, my name's PK and here I have Nafiz, who's a client of the Property Investment Accelerator. He joined the mentorship program, the course in May, just when interest rates were rising, and he's bought two properties. We're recording this in July, at the end of July. And yeah, I mean, he's just done a terrific job. And so I just wanted to say, first of all, congratulations, Nafiz.
Thanks, PK. Thanks for having me.
And in this video, hopefully, like we can talk about, I don't know, like why you joined the course, which colleagues or friends you found already in the course that you knew from other places, how you selected these areas, because you're based in Victoria, I assume Melbourne, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Melbourne, you bought them in Queensland, how you did that, and just like your general thoughts of like, was this hard? Was this easy? Did it take a long time? Did it not? Just kind of honest thoughts, and maybe I'll try to suck out some gold nuggets that can actually benefit everyone who's in your situation, maybe in Melbourne or Sydney, wanting to buy interstate, not sure where to go, too much information, standard stuff.
Sure, sure. All right. So, as you said, I've joined in May, and prior to this, I was following your YouTube videos and Facebook since late last year. And by then, I've had put a deposit for two land and home packages, and I thought that I can do it myself. All right, definitely. And I was looking at other states as well, but I didn't have the confidence whether I could do it. I could do a good result out of that. And then a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, he joined your course and he already invested in a couple of properties. And I thought, okay, I have to take a step back and understand what have I done wrong. And I think in the past I've built two properties for myself for my living, and it was my comfort zone. And it's something like, and I can call, pay a deposit for a land and wait for that and pay for a house, and then I don't have to worry about it. And the deal that I had one in Victoria, and they gave me like 10 years rental guarantee at 4% rental yield. And I thought, oh, that's pretty good. I don't have to worry about tenant. And so I signed up with them. And then this year, I decided to keep one of those, and decided to let go one of the land, because I thought if I do this course, and I'll be able to, uh, you know, build a good portfolio that I wanted to do, right? Just not, I want to stop at three and then wait for 2 years. And then, so I wanted to make sure that I get, a certain amount of property within the time frame that I've got planned. And then when I joined your course, the structure that it gave me and the tools that I have that I could use was simply amazing. You taught us how to build a team around you, and that's, you are the captain of the team, and you need a solid team like property managers and BNP. You need to have the right relationship with the right people to be successful. And those tools really helped me to gain understanding, and as well as implement it, so I was able to do that within a very short time.
Cool, cool. And I just want to go through your deals just for everyone's benefit as well. So the first one through the course that Nafi's bought, he bought it for 360,000. This is in Queensland. The rent is 500 a week, and that's not like an inflated rent, that is market rent, 7.2% yield, and huge block size, 769. So it's not just some brand new house and land package or anything like that. And then the second property he bought once again in Queensland, but different location. 335. He negotiated $5,000 after building and pest inspection. Maybe I'll touch on that in a second, Nafiz. And the rent is 460. So not quite 7% yield, but not so far off either. And once again, block sizes 640 square meters. So I think maybe the first thing that I'll ask, I always ask in every single one of these interviews, you're based in Melbourne, you bought these interstate, like naturally there would have been a lack of confidence buying into state. How did you overcome that lack of confidence, and how were you able to just do it?
Yeah, look, you're absolutely right. So before joining this course, I was looking at Tasmania, I was looking at Queensland, and I was looking at home and land packages, and I thought that is the best way to go. And then when I joined your course, I think what your course has taught me is that, um, you know, the best way is, how do you go about having a right team who can inspect the property for you? How do you find a best BNP team, because you've got a referral there as well, and the community that you built in your community forum is simply amazing. So it's just not you helping; you've got a team around you and you can reach out to them, and they can give you the insight, if you are not there, if you need some help. And that definitely helped me to build my confidence, and as well as data always, speak the truth. So you've got the data, you making the call based on your data, and how the suburb is growing, what is the infrastructure looks like. It's just not the not just about the structure. There's a lot of stuff in it that you can trust.
Yeah, yeah. And I just want to deep dive. I think that's a really good point you make around the community. I feel that education isn't enough. And that's oftentimes like a lever that, let's say buyers agents or whoever use to say, look, a course isn't really going to get you there, but it's the course plus mentorship plus
Absolutely.
community, that sort of trident, for want of a better word, that is what gets results. And
Yeah.
that's exactly right what you're saying. And the thing I wanted to ask was, on this property, you negotiated $5,000 after building and pest inspection. This is an incredibly hot suburb. It's hard to buy, if I can say so. It's difficult to buy property there. What is the process or the mechanism, or how were you able to negotiate $5,000 after building and pest inspection? How did you do that?
So for this property, when I've had this, when the offer was accepted, I had a call with the property manager, and I've gone through line by line item with the property manager to understand how much this would cost me to fix. And obviously they weren't a big problem; they were very small bits and pieces. And I spent 15 minutes on the call with the property manager to go through the items and understood the cost that will take me, and that would take me. So what would I do then? I reached out to my conveyancer and I said to them, for me to proceed with this property, I would like vendor to provide me that additional $5,000 discount. And the vendor obviously, and I think just a note on that, the property current market value is 410. And I was able to achieve it. So that was the Dexter valuation. And I was able to get it for 330K.
Right, right. Okay, well, I didn't know that. Okay, so the desktop valuation was what, 410, I think you said, and you're able to get it for 330. Was it off market or was it on real
No, that
estate?
wasn't off market. That was on real estate and domain as well. But obviously, your call taught me to have the right conversation with the sales agent to understand why they're selling. It's just not obviously the terms of time and things like that. So I was able to negotiate on that, and I think the vendor was in rush to sell this property, and I think I was at the right time, and I have the right team around me to to achieve this.
So I just did a quick count. So about $70,000 under market value on a base of, let's say, 400, 410. That's about 17% under market value. So you basically made, let's say, $70,000 or 17% equity on the way in. Like that is that is a I'm surprised as well. Like I didn't realize my course would be this effective. It's so because I generally just found that out on the call right now. So I mean that's phenomenal. I can tell you that when I was buying properties at the start, I wasn't getting deals like this. I wasn't getting these types of results. So no, truly congratulations to you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, to be very honest, obviously, when I started this journey, I've had 15 knockback, and I put offer in, and it was keep kind of getting knocked back, and I was losing trust whether I could do this or not. And I take a step back, and I've gone back to your videos again to understand, how to negotiate. And it's just that not, that was an easy process. So definitely, I can tell you that. And obviously, the profession that I'm in consulting, it takes a lot of my time on my job. So and this is where Biogen comes in. I was talking to my wife and I said, I do 12 hours a day. There are days like that. Do I have this time, or do I want to invest on, a buyer's agent who can find the property for me? And then I thought, hang on, these skills or this knowledge, if I just take it once, this is all about me. Now I'm going to keep it with me. And obviously, to build my property, if I decide to have 7 or 8 in my portfolio, I'll be saving $15,000 times 7. So I'll be saving a shit of money, right? So that's definitely a win. So
Yeah. And did you like especially in a hot market, and this is a good point that you made, people think that the property market is crashing right now because interest rates are rising, but these areas that the data is leading us to are not crashing. They're actually becoming hotter and hotter. That's the first point. The second point is because it's so hot, it's not easy to buy. You need to be advanced. You need to actually do the course. You need to understand how to negotiate, how to find these deals. Like, were you getting a bit disheartened and you kind of were saying that, look, you're thinking, can I do this? What's some advice that you can give to other people that, not even in the course, just anyone in the broader community who maybe is putting on offers after offers after offers, getting knocked back, knocked back? What was your mindset? What did it take for you to say, no, no, I can actually do this? Like, it's not actually difficult. I can do this.
Yeah, I think the first key would be get yourself educated, right? I think what helped me to keep going after getting so many knockbacks on offer and understand. I think I was doing something wrong. I think in terms of how do I go about doing it differently, and this is where your course came in to help me to negotiate and I'll come up with an approach in how do you negotiate in a hot market, and that has definitely helped me to achieve what I achieved.
Sure, sure. And I think that's a good point because negotiation is not something that you need to have 10 years experience or 50 years experience to be accomplished at. It's just it is an art, but it's a science as well, and you can learn it pretty easily. And yeah, you need a bit of practice, knock back a few times, but
Yeah.
it's not that hard. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's not that hard, and it's just that you have to keep patience. You have to, take your emotions out. No, and you are here for a reason, and yeah, that definitely helped me to, to achieve my so far. No, what I think I'm on the right track.
Nice, nice. And so what are your plans? Like, so you've got, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got your principal place of residence in Melbourne, you've got one investment property, and these
I've
two,
got
is that?
one investment property in Victoria.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got two there, and I'm also I bought acreage in Melbourne, which is 50K within from the CBD. So that is a long-term thing. Obviously, now I'll have to sit on it and see what happens next. And I've started working on my super fund. So
Right.
yeah,
So your next property purchase through the course will be through your SMSF. Is
yes,
that the
that's right.
plan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is for this year, and then obviously I'm gonna go back and all over again next year again. So I've got a decent plan, and I just need to execute them as I go.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And like a lot of banks have their forecasts of how interest rates will affect the property market. Economists have their forecasts. You read Facebook groups and other threads and podcasts and YouTube. Everyone has a view on, whether this is the right time to invest or not, whether the housing market is going to come down or not. From someone who's in the game, you have to be in the game to win it. You've, taken that stance, put a stake in the ground, and you're building a portfolio in a quantitative tightening cycle. How do you think about interest rates rising? How do you think, are you fearful about your portfolio or just what's your mindset there?
Look, what I believe in that things that are in my control, I will control it. Things that are not in my control, I can do nothing about it, right? So interest rate, I've been through this. When I built my first property at that time back in 2009, interest rate was 7%, right? And I've seen it how it works. The what I'm making sure this time is the rental yield. So I want to make sure the property that I'm getting is gonna obviously, pay off. Obviously not pay off. The cost, whatever is involved, will be paid by my tenant, right?
Mm.
So as you've seen, my rental yield is pretty good, and I believe that if their interest goes up to 6 or 6.5, I think I'll be pretty okay. So that's my that's my way of thinking.
Yeah, no, no, great point. And I think this is sometimes it's like an obvious thing, but it's a subtle thing to understand. Yes, you can buy in Melbourne and in the long term, you'll do well. You can buy in Sydney over the long term, you'll be fine. But we need that cash flow to be able to hold these properties for the long term.
Yep,
And that's just very difficult in Melbourne or Sydney. Maybe you can do one or two properties, but to build a portfolio, incredibly
absolutely.
hard.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons that I let go one of the property in Victoria because there was two things, right? So that would be negative geared. Second of all, my borrowing capacity will be capped, right? So that means I'll be stuck at three for next few years, right? But that's what I didn't want to do that. So that's why it's very important that you have a property which has a very strong rental yield to cover off the time that we are in now.
Yeah. No, wonderful, wonderful. And I think that that's really useful. Hopefully everyone got a whole bunch of value from that. There's something powerful in hearing directly from someone who's in it, as opposed to someone that's just talking about it, i.e. me. So I'm so glad that you made time for this, Nafiz. And yeah, I mean, I didn't realize it was $70,000 under market value. That's phenomenal. So no, great yields, great capital growth, great under market value deals, and I'm sure there's more to come.
So thanks, PK.
All right, thank you. Well, if you enjoyed that, smash the subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you have any comments or questions, you can just leave them below. I'll make it a point to answer, and maybe Nafiz will too. But thank you for watching, and once again, Nafiz, I appreciate your time.
Thanks, PK. Thanks for having me. Cheers.